I hope that you're doing well. Good morning. Welcome to Go Girl Chat. Um, we've done it. So this today marks 6 episodes, and I don't want to continue to reiterate all of that, but I just want to share with you having the schedule 9:30 in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because we work a 3-day work week and making it part of our routine. Anytime you can attach something to your morning routine, or if it's on the calendar, right, it will happen. You're making an appointment, you're making a date with yourself. And so I was hoping that we would be able to announce where everybody can go. That's going to be next week. That's okay. We've shown up 6 times plus one. And the reason I say plus one is because when we actually bought the URL, Cassie and I did an episode, and I actually watched that yesterday. It was back in May of 2023. And so I'm really happy right now because there's a lot of activity going around in my house. But I think that's the way that life is, right? And we tend to kind of think it's like this Instagram amazing pretty, and it's not. So we are recording in real time, and Phil has done something. We have an English Mastiff, and so he has a lot of slobber right now. And so Daniel's managing that. Jack just got up and he's eating his oatmeal. Interestingly enough, Cassie, I don't know if this happens to you or not, but so Buddy he's a gentleman, like he's like the elder dog, right? And I'm sitting at a bar and Buddy sits at my feet. Well, the gentleman likes to fart. So I'm sitting here. We're streaming, we're doing the Go Girl live chat, drinking my coffee, and then Buddy basically just blessed me. So how's your morning going?
Fantastic. I've got my coffee. I curled my hair. I published our Go Girl website. Um,
Yeah, but we're not going to
Sarah,
go. Okay, go ahead.
okay. Well, I'm going to say you are going to love this. Farah comes in this morning and I'm doing my yoga, and she says, Mom, I'm all done. I am ready to go when you are. And she is like about 8 minutes early. And we were getting ready to go into the car, and she just says, I really enjoy the extra time that we have together. And I've been able to finish all of my stuff all on my own. So little Miss is loving her new morning routine. And she's noticing that we both get to do what we enjoy and what's going to set us up for success during the day. And she's 9. This is huge.
Mhm. I'm telling you, like it seems it happens time and time and time and time again when we work one-on-one with clients and members in the membership. It does not matter when we
Yeah.
offer simple solutions and they're like, that ain't gonna work. And then they do it and it works. They're like, is it really that easy? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
that I'm so glad that you shared that because it really was a great segue into today's topic. And today's topic, and I had a really, really hard time with this. I don't know if you had a hard time with it. And I feel like listeners, viewers have a hard time with this as well, especially as women. So I've built it like up a lot. Are you ready for it?
I'm like Christmas morning. What is it? What are we talking about today?
I realized I was becoming an expert when. So it's that little word expert. And I think
Mm.
typically when we transition online or where we open our online business or when we just open our business, we don't feel like experts. We don't claim the ownership of expert. And I really feel like that should be a banned word. Expert should be a banned word. Um, so that's today's topic, all about the idea about when we felt we were experts, when we identified ourselves as experts, and what does expert even mean?
Okay, so there's a lot of layers to unravel here.
Yeah.
Because I think, if I go back to baby Cassie, expert was all of the things that I could not. make, like, I couldn't achieve. Like, there were so many people on pedestals, and everything that they said was just mind blowing. And it was that constant comparison, whereas like, I'll never be like that. I'll never have that type of authority. I'll never be that inspirational. And it's a dangerous place to be, because I think we put a stigma on the word expert when, interestingly enough, like in a few conversations, we've talked about systems, and systems are fluid and they're living and they're breathing. And the thing about expert, and I guess this might answer your question. I knew I was an expert when I realized that it wasn't a trophy to achieve, that it
Oh,
was
what did you? Oh, I
that it
just hope
was
everybody got the Rhonda voice there because when you said that, I was like, oh, you go, you do it.
yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, I just like
That no, it was like a mind pop moment. And I've talked about her before. It was the first online community that opens its doors for me. I love Lindsay Padilla. She's co-founder of Hello Audio, and she is, we have people in our lives that kind of hold the line, and they hold the mirror, and they speak truth, but in a loving way. And baby Cassie's entrance into the world was like step by step with Lindsay, and she would never, and if you know her, she never positions herself that way. And she is so humble and down to earth, but I would watch her and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just so smart, and she's committed to continuous learning. And that is her character mode of operation. And, I am so grateful to still be in her world today and have developed a friendship over the years. But she told me, and this stuck with me, and it was the major shift. Like, you go back and you look at certain times in your life and you can see the page turn. She said, Cassie, you will never be Google. Google is the end all be all. And now we're living in a time where Google's used less. Everything's moving to AI and Chat GPT. I will never have the human capacity and resources to be able to spit out the answers like Google or Chat GPT. So that was sort of like when the walls started coming down and made me embrace, I just needed to be Cassie, and I needed to be committed to learning, hold my integrity and the commitment to excellence, because information changes. And so if I took a stance where I needed to always be right, I needed to always be like the end all be all in every situation and every expertise, I was setting myself up for failure. But what I could control is my commitment to excellence and continuously staying on the front pace of learning, adapting, and implementing. And so that's sort of how, for me, it was where the rubber meets the road. It's, what are you truly putting into practice day in and day out? And that is, the opportunity to really embrace the identity of expert.
yeah, I think for me, typically it's when people are wondering like, what's my offer? What's the thing that I do? What's the thing that I'm known for? And so part of that is kind of thinking about, well, what are people asking you all the time? Like, what's the one question? And
Mhm.
for me, the one question was, how do you get it all done? I mean, with 4 kids, Daniel, all of the things, like, how do you get it all done? And I would be like, well, I mean, I just do it. That was the initial. So if we're going through like what that evolution looked like, I don't know, I just do it. And I don't know how you get it all done. I just do it. And then what I realized, and for me, when I knew I was coming in as an expert, is when I could actually answer that question. How do you get it all done? And so when I say I use systems in life and I use them in business, it's because that expertise, whether it was the mama with the babies or it was the business owner and hundreds of team members in seasonal event or whatever that was, that's when I felt like I came into becoming an expert. Now, mindset wise, am I still saying to you that I'm all that in a bag of chips about systems and organization? You will lift me up. And that's another helpful like reinforcer. We were on stage recently, and really what we were sharing was a system. And what was crazy to me, and I really want just to lift everybody up who's listening to this, you are an expert. You are an expert in something. We all are. But I felt like in this room, basically of multimillionaires, I mean, let's just call it, that's who they are, right? That I had nothing to offer. And Cassie's like, no, we're going to do a presentation and I'm doing the slides right now and it's going to be amazing. And I'm like, okay. And y'all, we did it. And I have never, ever, ever, I don't even think, Cassie, I don't think you've ever had a reaction that like what we had. People who had been doing 125 million friends. I mean, big room, big room. And I was like, okay, it's just another reinforcement, like kind of stepping into that identity as an expert, and never, I don't think, belittling how you solve the problem. Because I mean, I typically would introduce myself as a homeschooling soccer mom. And my little simple solutions to big problems, I don't think are important. I mean, I think that we think this way, right? So I'm loving
Yeah.
today's topic, because I really feel like it's going to resonate with a lot of people. And here's the thing that I will say too, is like when I see, especially another woman, they're up on stage and they're owning their zone, she's an expert. And I like gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
And they're never doing it in a very boastful way. It's just like,
Oh,
I want to be like her when I grow up.
amen. Yeah. 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 That
So,
experience, it was incredible and eye-opening for both of us. And honestly, a lot of, we had talked quite a bit about publishing a public-facing podcast with, just conversation of, women in business and what it means to balance, or always be chasing that idea and that dream of balance of business and life, right? And on the other side of this presentation, so many people told us, like speak more, be seen more, put yourself out there more. And it was a great reminder. Also, being surrounded by people who are not going to tell you something that is ingenuous. That they're not. That's not the type of people that they are. But before we had went on stage, what really I think what I knew was going to really set us up for success was just our dynamic together, our sense of humor. Because we did sort of like a lightning round of the mastermind group of introductions. And I always like playing with different introductions. And, my favorite is, we help simplify businesses and build simple, sexy systems. And just from the combination of simple, sexy systems that is, an oxymoron, just like jumbo shrimp. But it's memorable. And a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear you talk about 9 ways to wow a customer. Because I'm intrigued on how systems can be simple and sexy. So it was, I don't know. I think it was one of those serendipitous moments where had you asked either one of us if it would have been that impactful, I think we would have still minimized it because typically when you are, in your zone of genius or in that expertise, you do minimize it because it's something that comes very naturally to you, as easy as breathing. And it is one of those things. And interesting enough to hear you share, like the question that people ask you all the time, I don't know how you do it. Our personalities are very, very different, right? You are so straight to the point where it's like, I don't understand how you don't understand. Here's step one, step two, step three. Where are you confused? Right. And I am just like, I feel like I have this vision of like just skipping in a big field of wildflowers, like la 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 la, look what we can do. We can do this and we can do this and we can do this.
Yeah.
And but our mode of operation of getting things done is what blows me away. I've never worked with anyone who after a conversation, it's literally done, like almost in 24 hours the next day, no matter what type of project it is, no matter what's going on. And I mean, yeah, there's larger builds that, we plan out and it takes, a few weeks or whatever. But I tell you what, I am an expert and quick and dirty. Like, get it done, get it out there, get it in the market's hands, get feedback. And I think that was the one thing that I just respect the hell out of you for is you take my messy imperfect action, my quick and dirty, and it's like diamond polished steps with a rolled out red carpet and welcome rug with a warm cup of hot chocolate when customers get there, right? Like it's really incredible. So that is definitely your expertise.
Well, I didn't expect that. Thank you, Cassie Brown.
You're welcome.
But on the flip side of that, I think, I don't know if you would say realist. So the way that we talk about ourselves, I typically call myself the frigid princess. And it's because I'm like, no, we got to do this, 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 and this. And Cassie's like, but we can do all things. But you need both sides of that coin. You can't always be the frigid princess because the frigid princess can get frigid. And case in point, we were doing some things yesterday. Yesterday wasn't, for me personally, it wasn't really a good day yesterday. I'm going to be honest. Like the day before was like, yeah, we're rocking it. It's amazing. And Wednesday was like, not feeling it, kind of pissy. It's not turning out the way I want. I mean, it's like typical roller coaster, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
And you were getting a migraine towards the end of the day. Yeah.
hence, like not feeling it, right? And
Yeah.
so, but at the end of the day, so I was downstairs on the couch, and had the fire going, and I came up and it was a little bit later than what I thought. And I looked and you had sent me a message. And I was like, that's what I needed. And so that message was, I'm in the fields and it's everything is perfect and the sun is shining. I'm like, that's what we need. Thank you for that. And so I think that Cassie's love language is different from mine, but she needs my love language. And my love language is different from Cassie's, but I need hers as well. And I think Aurora, it was like a peanut butter and jelly or an Oreo cookie. And I'll let you decide who's who in both scenarios. But I really, and it's funny, I'll say one more thing. It wasn't yesterday because yesterday was a bad day. I think it was Tuesday when we were just kind of just chatting. I'm like, oh, we need to turn the recorder on because this is a really good like woman conversation that people need to hear. So I think that I'm just thankful that, Go Girl Chat can be anything, and it can
Yeah.
be anything to anyone on any day. And in all honesty, you know that I hate the word transparency. Cassie does not know what we're going to talk about, and which is weird because she's the podcaster, I'm not, but I typically come up with the topics. And I'm loving what we're doing right now. And I really hope listeners, viewers, whether you're YouTube or community, that these conversations are resonating with you.
Amen. Amen. I think it's one of those things, circle back and, if we start to kind of tie everything up with a bow here is, some of the first few presentations that I did, um, oh my gosh, like I wasn't ready for. I didn't feel like I was ready for. Um, but you know what's interesting is some of the first few are foundation principles. So like listen to your heart, listen to that calling, listen to those things that, like what Rhonda said, people are asking you, but also like, what is your soul saying? Right. So those first few, when I first started the marketing agency, I spoke on marketing a lot. And I've always been sort of like, let me just share my story so that you can find the same struggles and the same insecurities and the same fears and doubts. So one of my first presentations to the coaching group that I was in, it was Be Louder. It was essentially how I was approaching marketing in organic. I had a Facebook ads agency, but as a paid traffic agency, what I realized really, really quickly is what you do organically is magnified on the paid side. So if you can get it right organically, if you can share your mission, your passion, your outcome, your care, and your results and your customer experience organically, that is the same formula, tweaked a little bit, because when you start running paid traffic, you are increasing, from warm to colder traffic, but it's the same principles. People don't care how much you care until they know how much you care, right? I need to correct that. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So on the topic of expert, we think that we need to lead with it, where, we've got to puff out our chest and we've got to be like, do you know I know my shit? No, you just need to be human so that someone can say, you know what? They've been through a lot and I kind of dig their vibe. I like their results. I like their lifestyle. I like what their mission and vision is. I'm going to try some of their strategies, right? Or at least that's the way that the thought process we have found works best for our clients. So I kind of wanted to turn it on its head too, where, I know I mentioned yesterday, you're truly free when you stop playing someone else's game. So stop playing the guru game and own, your genius, your excellence, your heart, the one individual thing that you have to contribute to the world. There is zero competition for that. Yes, there were other ad agencies. Yes, there are other coaches and consultants when it comes to systems and onboarding. Many of them are our very, very good friends, peers, and networking groups and masterminds, and we respect the hell out of them. But there's only one Kaci, and there's only one Rhonda, and there's only one Kaci and Rhonda, right? So that that to me is like, no one can truly duplicate you.
And no one can duplicate your pink hair. I do just want, so if you're listening now, then you can't see. So Cassie had a hair day yesterday. We all love. I mean, that's a whole episode on and of itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about an identity shift. Yes.
Well, pink hair and then your relationship with your hairdresser. I mean, that
Oh,
is
I
just
love her. I love
sacred.
her.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm loving the pink. It's looking great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's going to be it for us today. We're going to be fancier next week and we'll have like a great tagline. We're going to have a tagline next week. It's not ready this
Ooh.
week. I know you kind of spilled it a little bit. It's okay. It's not.
Okay. Are we sharing the website yet? Open loop. Open loop.
Well, it's not now. Yeah. So we're sharing the website next week when we're back, and we'll be live here again, 3 episodes, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Until then, take care. We'll talk soon.
Bye.